Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne and I do videos on all things writing and reading. So today's video, I've been seeing a recent trend of these videos about people picking their next reads with a TBR jar. At first I was like, what the heck is a TBR jar? But it's really self-explanatory, but I'm just a little bit dense, so it's basically like a little jar that has pieces of paper that have little prompts on it. Like, oh, read a book that has blue on the cover, or read a book that has the season name in the title. And so I was like, well, this seems like a great challenge for a mood reader. Sarcasm intended. But you know what? It looks fun, and I have a cute little mug. I don't have a jar, but I have a cute little mug, so I was like, might as well. Also, you may have noticed that I have a microphone now. Yeah, the iPhone mic wasn't cutting it, so I spent $15 whole on this mic right here. And I realize now that wearing a white shirt probably wasn't the best idea, considering the cord is black, but just ignore it. So without further ado, let's just get into the drawing. Okay. So here I have my TBR jar. It's not a jar, but just pretend it's a jar, because I didn't have any jars. So this jar has prompts that are on little pieces of paper, and I just dropped 50 of them. But I tried to be original and think of lots of prompts by myself, but unfortunately, even as a creative, I'm not that creative. So I did go on Pinterest to look at some ideas. So now I have, I think, enough to do this video. Now, unfortunately, even though I am a reader, I am not one of those readers. And by one of those readers, I mean readers that can read about 50 books a month. I actually saw a video of someone doing this, and this girl picked out 6 or 7 books, and I was like, oh, this must be for over a couple months. And she was like, well, that's all the books I'm gonna read in May. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna read 6 books in May, okay. I've read 1 book the last 3 months. Can I even call myself a reader? In order to keep this video from being 3 minutes long, I will be drawing for the month of June and July, and probably August, because there's a big chance I will not finish all these books in June and July. I'm gonna try, but I'll basically be picking out my reads, not just for June, but also for July, the next couple of months, because even though I'm out of school, I still somehow am too busy to read more than 3 books a month. So anyways, I have the jar here, and now I'm going to be drawing one. So I realize now that I'm gonna have to do something about the microphone. Okay, so I secured the microphone. The audio is most likely going to sound worse, but I do need 2 hands for this. So, as I said before, I'm gonna be drawing 6 prompts for June and July. All right, so I feel like you guys can't, I feel like I need to hold it like this so you guys can see it. Okay, first prompt, secured. All right, first prompt is a book 300 pages or under. So that's a couple books. This book right here I have. Nope, this has 400 pages. That is a little bit over 300. Let's see about this one. This one's been on my TBR for a long time. Oh, I just spoiled the book for me. Nope, this has 349 pages, so. Okay, so there's a slight problem, and the slight problem is that I actually don't have any books that are under 300 pages. So I'm just gonna pick the book that's the closest to 300 pages, and we're gonna go with that one. Okay, so I have here Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This one is the closest to 300 pages I could find. I wrote these prompts not really checking to see if any of my books actually fit them, so that's the problem we have now. But luckily, this one has 316 pages, which is the closest that I'm going to get to 300 pages. This is my first book that I'm going to be reading. Okay, so now we're going to be drawing for our second prompt. This one is a book with a 1-word title. All right, so I have 3 options to choose from. The first one is Powerless. This one has been on my TBR for a very, very long time. Next we have Winter. This is the last book, basically the last book in the Lunar Chronicles. There are some spin-offs, and I think there's a prequel, but this is basically the last book, so I probably do need to finish this one. And the last one is called Stain. This is a book that was gifted to me, and I've been wanting to read it ever since I got it, but for some reason I just haven't. But honestly, out of these 3 books, I feel like I should go for Powerless because it's so hyped on Book Talk, which makes me kind of nervous to read it. This is weird about me, but I have to be in the mood to read a book that's written in present tense, and this book's written in present tense. I feel like I'm kind of in the mood now. So I feel like I can read this now. So I figured, let's just go with this one. Let's go with Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Yeah, the worst thing about this one is having to actually put the books back on the shelves. Now I'm gonna be drawing for our third one. Got one. This one says, a book that has been adapted into a movie/show. So I have Emma, and I also have Lord of the Rings. I'm not gonna get it out because it's so nicely stacked right here. More specifically, the Two Towers. I finished the first one. Honestly, I'm not really in the mood for Lord of the Rings. I know, it's terrible of me. But Lord of the Rings, you have to really be prepared for it because it's so much world building. It's almost a little bit too much if you're not prepared. So I think I'm gonna go with Emma by Jane Austen. Okay, that is all the books for the first section. Now we move on to the next part. Here we go. This one says a book with over 400 pages. Now we're talking, okay? Now we're talking. All right, so first option I have is Nightweaver. This book has been on my TBR for a pretty recent time, but I've been really excited to read it. And I'm always in the mood for books about pirates. So the next book I have is Dance of Thieves. Now, I read like 30 pages, and then one day I woke up and the bookmark had fallen out of it. I think that was a sign that it wasn't the time to read that, so I don't know. And then of course, once again, we have this one. I gotta be honest, I am gonna take the easy way out, and I think I'm gonna choose Nightweaver because I've been anticipating this read for a very long time, so that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm not putting these back in the shelves. All right, now we have two more. Okay. This one says, a book that has been on your TBR for over 6 months. Okay, so that is a couple of books. All right, so first pick I have is The Kiss of Deception. I am kind of nervous about this book because it has a love triangle. Love triangles scare me, but I did read the Inheritance Games, and I actually really liked the love triangle. So next I have Blade of Ash. Now you probably noticed the bookmark. I started reading this, and then I got bored, and I just stopped. So this is originally a DNF'd book, but you know, maybe I'll give it another chance. And the last book I have is The Hazelwood. I did not know that this was such a popular book, and there's like special editions of this book and everything, and I'm like, I had no idea this was a popular book because I've literally never heard anybody talk about it. Honestly, it's a tie between The Hazelwood and Blade of Ash. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with The Hazelwood. I also already have a prompt that is read a book that you recently DNF'd, so probably gonna go with this one. All right, so we have one last drawing in the TBR jar. A book written in present tense. Okay, I found one. This one is written in present tense. This is Bonecryer's Moon. So that is the last book. Alrighty, so I have all my books picked out, all 6 of them. I will possibly be making some reading vlogs on my progress on each book, so stay tuned for that. And of course, I will be writing reviews for every single book on my Instagram if you want to check that out. So yeah, that is all my reads for June and July using a TBR jar. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!